Roxette and How Do You Do on 1FM 91.3. Hope you're having a great one so far. It's a Wednesday on the morning drive. And we have with us in the studio today...
I've been waiting for this.
Yes, very happy to welcome Miss Eileen Soh. Hello there, Eileen.
Hi.
Thank you for joining us. So you're a voluntourist.
That's
I love the term because it seems very exciting to me, even though I don't understand it completely. So just to set this clear, you started out mainly traveling for food.
That's right.
Yeah.
Then there was this turning point that made you shift towards voluntourism. It's even hard to say.
Okay, maybe for those who are unfamiliar,
What is
maybe,
it?
Yeah, tell us more about voluntourism.
What is it?
So it's an idea that I picked up online. It's like volunteering and touring. Volunteering and touring the city at the same time.
How do you do this?
It was something that I tried out about 3 years ago. So I was doing I had the chance to go on a sabbatical. So instead of staying in Singapore, I went overseas and volunteered at a student organization. So in Indonesia, I taught them English and I get to practice my Indonesian at the same time. So at the end of the day, I stayed with the host family and I was touring as well because they were bringing me to local attraction like the waterfall. The mom would actually cook jackfruit curry for me.
Oh my God, jackfruit curry.
It's something that in that state is only prepared during special occasions like marriages. You can't go to a warung and say, can I have some jackfruit curry?
They don't have it.
Yeah. So actually what better way to tour a place than to stay with a country, eat their food, do whatever they're doing. So that's how voluntourism came about.
Okay, so let me get this right. So you go to a country, you volunteer in exchange for something.
For food and lodge.
For food and lodge.
Right, so
And
you
to
will
collect their
stay
stories.
with the host, right, most of the time, and then they'll prepare meals, and then of course they'll take you to see some sites. That's the best way to see
That is just awesome.
a place, a country, right? Because you're so immersed in the local culture. And what was, what made you decide to switch? Were you, motivated by something that you saw? I know there was a book that you read, right?
Yeah. So if you had seen me 3 years ago, I would be much larger because I was traveling for food. And then I read this book called 4,000 Weeks.
Right.
Or as a funeral director told me, 900 months. It's a similar concept.
Right.
So everyone will live about 900 months. Sure, life expectancy has increased to 90 years, 100 years, but your lifespan is not the same as your health span, which is the amount of time that you have with your full faculty and your movement of your limb, which is about 70 years.
Yeah.
I'm 35 this year. I'm halfway through it. And I asked myself, at the end of the day, my loved ones will be gone. My consciousness might also be gone. The only thing that will keep me company in my last moment is going to be my memories. So I wanted to go out there and seek memories, and voluntourism was a great way for me to do that.
Wow.
How does anyone get started in this?
Jillian was just asking me about
Yeah.
it. How I got to do it was through this website called Work Away.
Work away.
It's
okay.
like Airbnb, but for overseas volunteering opportunities.
Yeah.
So what happened was that my Indonesian host would actually post and say that, come guys, please come and teach my children. In exchange, I'll give you free food, free lodge, and if you're lucky, you get a friend for life. So
Right.
this friend ended up inviting me to her wedding.
Wow.
She's marrying a Pakistani. So there's one wedding in Indonesia, which unfortunately I can't make it, but she's going to invite me to the one in Pakistan. And as a single female, it's dangerous to travel to Pakistan.
Right.
But imagine if you're going there and your friend is there to welcome you.
Yeah,
It'll be a whole different experience.
Absolutely. And we're looking at the
Wow.
website. There are opportunities in Costa Rica, Colombia,
Yeah.
all over the world.
It's nice because Walk Away, it says what hosts and organizations, right? So it's a matchmaking between
Exactly.
the hosts and individuals or organizations who want to help out. Okay, so you've gone to these places that are off the beaten track most of the time, right? What's something that you've had to let go of, in terms of connecting, like looking at this place in a different light altogether?
It's something quite personal. I have OCD, so yesterday after gym I had a call. I didn't want to put my work laptop on the table that everyone was resting it on. I had to find a mat to put it there.
Right.
But when you go to these countries, one of the things that I try to do is to help out with whatever they're doing, even though it's dirty. So I remember when I was in India, Rajasthan, I was helping the ladies to wash the dishes. And at the end, you had to plunge your hand into this murky, slimy water to clear the sinkhole so that the water can flow down. And that is something that you have to do everywhere. In Kenya, toilet was just a hole in the ground.
Yep.
In Indonesia, toilet was without flush. And you had to scrub the dishes on the same floor that you poop on.
No!
Okay.
But these are ways to show your host that I am not a princess from Indonesia, from Singapore.
Singapore.
I want to go there. I want to do things that they do, and this builds trust.
You learn. The way I see this is you learn the real life of the country.
Yeah.
I
Through
try
the
to.
hard ways.
It's the hard ways. Wow.
Okay, we're going to go on Facebook right now, so join us there.
The Flying Dutchman in
So you've been doing this voluntourism. I've got to pronounce this very carefully.
Voluntourism.
Voluntourism for a while now.
Yeah.
As this grows, do your experiences shape where you want to go, or what?
It definitely does. So it made me think about my checklist. Like instead of countries that I want to go, I start to think in terms of experiences that I want to have. So the next experience on my list is living with a nomadic family, to rail ships. The reason is because I went to Kyrgyzstan. This was back when I was still traveling for food.
Yeah.
And I interacted with this young child. And she wasn't playing with iPad. She was just picking up like countdown patties that they had dried under the sun.
Yeah.
Because underneath there will be a lot of mealworms. And he was just playing the worms, playing with the patty. And I thought, wow, this is a life that I wouldn't be able to lead in my very privileged Singaporean life. You can only live one life in one lifetime if you don't go out and travel. So my next idea is to go out there and live off the land with a nomadic family, rail ships, and then when the grass has been eaten, pack up camp, find another plot of land, and then set up roots there and then live for another few
You're
weeks.
a very, very brave woman.
Very brave, you know.
Very brave.
And
My mom says otherwise. My mom says, I wish you were my friend instead of my daughter so that I don't have to worry about you.
Okay, but Kyrgyzstan is beautiful. I went there and really enjoyed the country. It's just amazing people too. Okay, so which country, we talked about that, which country would you live in for a year? No strings attached, okay? If you could choose.
This is such a tough question.
Yeah.
And I feel like this goes back to the reason why I'm doing this, spreading the word, is because once you have traveled the country, like what the Flying Dutchman said just now, even if you were to go to parts of Europe, you realize that train breaks down all the time. All people go on strike.
Yeah.
What we have in Singapore, we are actually very, very
We're
lucky.
very privileged.
Exactly. So I would give the boring answer and say I will stay in Singapore.
No!
Yeah, you see?
Cannot. That's a cop-out.
It doesn't surprise
Okay.
me for someone who's gone and
Yes, yes.
experienced the real life of
Okay.
real people in countries. You understand how well this machine that
Yeah.
we call Singapore works.
Okay. So only Eileen can give this answer, okay? Nobody else can because she's earned the stripes.
She's done the stripes to do it.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay, so when you think back on those tougher moments, okay, so let's go with the countries that you visited for voluntourism, right? There's Kenya, there's Indonesia, Taiwan that you went to. You did
Yes.
some translating for them.
I did.
Yeah, for a business, right?
Correct. So that was very lucky because sometimes fate works in very funny ways. I only got that position because 3 years prior to that volunteering trip, I had volunteered with my community Singapore. So this is a group that brings you around to heritage area and then you're supposed to give like tours to our people. And this Taiwanese agency was doing exactly the same thing. But why it was set up was because they realized that Taiwanese youth were fleeing to Taipei to work there and coming back only at night. So this had become a commuter town. So this lady gave up her 5-figure banking job, set up a tour agency just so that they could hire these youths that were fleeing the country. Yeah. So what I did for them was to translate their tour materials from Chinese to English, English to Chinese, so that we can actually get more foreign tourists to visit this part of Taiwan.
Amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, she's not only brave, she's also bilingual, maybe trilingual. Which other languages do you speak, Bahasa?
Indonesian.
Yeah. Amazing. Okay,
Wow.
so Taiwan, Indonesia, Kenya. where else have you been? Peru as well, right?
Yes.
You went to Peru.
Yes, I did. I am that silly girl who went to Peru without climbing Machu Picchu.
Machu Picchu. What did you do in Peru? Tell us.
I was volunteering in a dog farm.
Cute.
So this is set up by a young man who believes that there are too many stray dogs out there in Peru.
Yeah, there are.
So what he does is he will pick them up and then he will he will take care of them, but he wanted people to adopt them. You can adopt them either physically or virtually. But to get the reach, he needed a website. So I set up the website for him so that now you can actually go sign up, adopt a dog for 1 month, and they will send you monthly report. And if you adopt him for longer, you might even be able to name him and then give him special treats on his birthday.
Wow. Where in Peru was this?
Cusco.
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 Oh, I love Cusco. Cusco is so cool.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Oh, I've never been there. Please take me there, okay, guys? I will go and play with the dogs. No, but favorite place so far in all your trips?
Favorite place I have to say is Indonesia, because when you go on these trips, it's about collecting stories, and I was telling them just now, you actually make friends along the way. So one of my friends that I made in Indonesia, she's getting married to a Pakistani.
Yep.
She's invited me to her wedding, but unfortunately I can't attend the one in Indonesia. So I'm going to the one in Pakistan. And for a single female like me, imagine if you were to go to Pakistan alone, you'd be terrified. But if you were to be welcomed by your friend on the other side and to be able to participate in a Pakistani wedding, that is something that not everyone can do.
The wedding's happening end of this year?
October this year.
October. Okay.
So you've done all these things. You talked about washing dishes on the same floor you poop on. There have been tough things, cockroaches, toilets, whatever they may have been. What's one thing that you've done that stays with you?
One thing that I've done that stays with me.
Like what's a core memory?
A core memory
The
of,
first thing
of
that comes
all
to
these
mind.
travels.
I think it's the story that I told you about earlier, which was in Kenya. I was teaching at a local school, and I was playing Pictionary with the kids. So I chose the word sink, like kitchen sink. And nobody knew what a sink was. So I showed them a YouTube video. And the moment they saw fresh water coming out on demand from a tap, the kids were surprised. Because for them, water is either water from the river or water collected in a tank from the sky. The idea of having such luxury was unimaginable to them. And it broke my heart, because this is something that we don't even think about when we do every day.
We don't.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you go back to Kenya? No, Indonesia. Okay, but the core memory is Kenya, right?
There are people listening to us now, right, who have young kids in their 20s who are...
Or even younger.
Or younger.
Yeah.
And they've got that glint in their eye now, and the parents listening and looking at this. Is it safe to do?
I mean, it's not going to get safer. The world is getting more and more dangerous. But what I think to myself is, if I don't do this now when I'm young and fit, would I regret it? Yeah, that is also the principle that Jeff Bezos lived by.
Yeah.
Like, do the thing that you will regret the least. And that is my life philosophy too.
Interesting.
Wow.
That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, we're going to talk more with Eileen on air, so join us there. 1FM 91.3, Anita Baker and Same Old Love here on the Morning Drive. It's FD and Carrie, and with us here in the studio, we've got Eileen Soh. She's a voluntourist. See, that's
You
tough.
got it. Voluntourist.
Voluntourist. Okay, so traveling with a purpose. You started with traveling for food, right? But then that changed after you've come into contact with various publications, and then you found this website called Work Away, right? Where you can kind of be matched to a place or a host, and then you go there and you volunteer, like for a meal, lodging, and all that. So Eileen has done some really amazing travels. There's Indonesia, there's Peru, there's Kenya, there's Taiwan. What's the next trip that's coming up for you? Besides Pakistan for the wedding, but that's not really work lah. Yeah.
I'm planning to... So the next thing on my list is to live with a nomadic family. Yeah, so I had initially intended to go to Mongolia, because
that's what comes to my mind.
Yeah, fantastic opportunity. It's going to be... I'm going to be there to be sharing the ships, pitching the tent. The unfortunate thing is that it requires a 3-week commitment. So sure, I can take 3 weeks of leave, but I can only do it in December. But December is also the date of winter for Mongolia.
Yeah.
Temperature
it's
temperature
crazy.
plunges to minus 30 degrees. I don't think I can do that.
Yeah.
So if anyone out there has an opportunity for me, please come reach out.
Okay. But somebody who's listening in right now, whether it's the kids or the parents, if they're interested, how can they go about doing this?
How do they start?
How do they start?
Well, one way besides going on workaway, I recommend when you travel, just look for a local soup kitchen, because usually what they need are people to pack lunches or to dish out food to people. And along the way, if you feel that this is something that you enjoy, because I feel like every one of you look back on the last trip that you have done, besides the delicious food that you have eaten, the other thing that stays with you is the story that you have collected.
Yeah.
So for my boyfriend, we just went to Lyon. He came back and he said that, the memory that stuck most with him was when he stumbled across this 100-year-old bakery who was still using the mother dough from the great-grandmother days. So you actually get eating bread with bacteria that is made from the great-grandmother like years ago,
Yeast,
even though she has passed away.
Yep.
Oh.
And that is the story that he keeps telling people. Sure, the bread is delicious, but it's the story that stays with you time and again.
Yeah. It's those stories that you'll take to your grave, pass on to your grandchildren.
Just very quickly, in your mind, if I wanted to start doing this, would I start it close to home, or do I go away and it's a complete break? I do the big step, or do I start?
Personally.
Yeah, personally.
So because whenever I go on these trips, people ask me, "Are you excited?" I'm like, yes, I'm excited, but it's also like a hardship trip in a way, because I know I won't enjoy myself. So I would choose a place that I really, really want to go to, even though it's very, very far away, because I need that motivation to even step out in the first place.
Right.
That's true. That's true. A bucket list, that you always wanted to visit, but make it about, volunteering or giving back.
I love this idea. This idea is brilliant.
It's
It really is.
amazing, and I'm
Brilliant.
so glad we found you.
Thank you.
And
thank you.
that you agreed to come on air and share
Yeah.
your experiences with us. So once again, thank you very much, Eileen Soh. You can find the article on the Straits Times. Thank you.
Thank you.
The Morning Drive. 1FM. Good times, greatest hits.
It's Wednesday, August 20th.
Why start your day any other way? The Flying Dutchman and Carrie Chong on The Morning Drive. Weekdays from 6 till 10. 1FM 91.3. This is 1FM, a station of SPH Media, Singapore's newest